Hey again from the garden, it's Christina from Sunshine and Flora. So today is Tuesday, it's a farmer's market day. I'm just starting to put all of my bouquets together for the market, and I thought I would set up the camera and show you guys what I'm working with this week. So today is Tuesday, August 1st, and typically by the 1st of August, the garden is flooded with flowers. It finally is this year, thank goodness. It was a slow start to the spring, and I feel like in July, I was still not having enough flowers every week to really feel like I had an abundance. But now I feel like I'm doing okay. And the zinnias are a big part of that. So I just want to show you what I'm working with this week, and then we're going to put together the big bouquets first, which I think I'm going to do assembly line style and kind of all do similar just to get them done really quick. And then I have mini bouquets, which I have all the ingredients set aside in these jars. I'll show you what I'm using for that. So for the big bouquets, I have zinnias. Aren't these pretty? Basically, I picked a lot of purple zinnias, some red, orange, and yellow. So those are going to be the colors. I left a lot of the pinks and the other purples, lilac, salmon, all of those in the garden. Those are going to be for a farmer's market that I'm doing this weekend, which I probably will do a video on. So today we're using the vibrant jewel tone colors. I have some Madame Butterfly Snapdragons that I will be using. Up front here, which you can probably see in the camera, I have some Flamingo Feather Celosia. I have Bells of Ireland, which are just exploding. Let me tell you, if you grow Bells of Ireland, what a crop. I have probably a 3 by 6 foot area. I think that's all I need. It's huge. So that is really good to know for next year. So I'm going to put a couple of those in each bouquet. I'm finally getting some cosmos. I have the double click, I think double click cranberry and double click white is what I picked this year to plant. So I have some of those. I have a bucket of sunflowers, both the Pro Cut Orange and the Pro Cut Gold Light. I have some Amazon dianthus. I picked some of this, although I'm also saving a bunch of this for the weekend. I have a special order for a birthday party that needs to be pinks and purples, so I thought this would be perfect. I have a couple of lilies. I have some shorter lilies starting, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to use these today, but they're in the bucket. Then what else do I have? Oh, I have a whole bucket of status. Let me tell you, it has been easy to pick a bucket or two or even 3 of full buckets of status every single week. Status is awesome if you're not growing it, so I'm going to be using that. And then my last bucket, which I have some more cosmos, but I have a whole bucket of bouquet. So I'm going to have bouquet as the filler. Then I'm going to have a couple Bells of Ireland, one of the Flamingo Celosia, probably a couple status as the accent flower. And then we're going to do maybe 1 or 2 cosmos. I'm going to have 1 or 2 snapdragons, a sunflower, and then some zinnias. That's going to be everything that goes into the bouquets. So I'm going to start by moving these buckets. We're going to get the assembly line going, and I'm going to show you how I put these together super duper fast. Okay, so I have cleared everything off of the table, and basically I'm going to be making piles of the ingredients for each of my bouquets. I have 7 laid out. My goal for today is 12. That's typically what I take to the market. This is a smaller market. I do really well every week. I tend to sell out, but I kind of know that 12 is the number. So that's what I'm going to make, maybe 12 or 13. And then I do probably 8 to 10 of the mini bouquets. The larger bouquets I sell for $15. The mini bouquets I sell for $5. So right now I have 7 piles on the table. And the first thing I added to the pile was bouquet. This is going to be the first thing I put in the bouquets. And now I'm going to add status to the pile. So in my status bucket, I have a combination of apricots. I have some light purples, some darker ones, which I think are technically the blue, and I have white. So I think for these today, I'm going to concentrate on using the purples and the whites. That way everything is consistent. And with status, there's not a ton to clean off, just a few stragglers on the bottom. So I'm going to put 2 status on each pile. And the shorter status I'm going to set aside because these are going to be perfect in my mini bouquets. So I'm going to put a white in each pile and a purple in each pile. White, purple. Some of these are just enormous. And a lot of times I'll pull off the bottom side stem just because it's a little wimpier than the others. Here's clearly just one stem. I might save that for my mini bouquets. Like this one, I usually just kind of pull that off. Whoa, that is a beast of a stem. I don't even know if I think I'm going to switch and just put 1 status in that bouquet. All right, so I've got status in Bouquet. The next thing I'm going to add is a couple snapdragons. Since I have quite a few sunflowers today and have a lot of zinnias, I think I'm just going to do 1 snapdragon per bouquet. And these are going to be a little bit of a mix of colors. And so I'm just going to randomly pick one to put in the bouquet, and it's not even really going to matter. All right, now I'm going to add cosmos. And depending on the stem, I'm going to add 1 or 2 stems of cosmos. Like this one's pretty straggly, so I think I'm going to put 2 in there. Now, like this one has 3 flowers. I'm going to take these side shoots off because they're probably not going to open all the way anyway. And like this one has 4 flowers, so I'll put that on top of the pile. All right, we're looking good. So now I'm going to add my sunflowers. Oh, you know what? I'm going to add bells of Ireland. These bouquets might be a little beastly this week. I picked enough bells of Ireland to put 2 in each bouquet today. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm trying to put those on the outside. And you'll see when I pick these up how I'm going to actually maneuver it together. Then I have some of this flamingo feather celosia, which is just a cute little accent. I'm going to put 1 of those on each pile. Okay, now a sunflower and the zinnias. So I think at this point I'm going to go ahead and pick these up. I think I will start somewhat arranging these. So here is what I have. And sometimes I'll need to do just a little additional work like on the Bouquet. So I like to put that at the back, or keep that at the back, I should say. So basically all of this is kind of arranged for me already. Might need to pull that Bouquet down a little bit. There we go. So this is basically what I have. I think I'll do 1 sunflower in each bouquet and maybe 2 to 3 zinnias. So I'm going to start by picking, let's do 3 zinnias. And I think I'm going to keep all 3 zinnias the same color. I'm going to do that this week instead of making everything mixed colors. So this one's going to be purple. And then I'm going to add a bright yellow sunflower to go in the front. Want to make sure that I see my snapdragon, those bells of Ireland. I think I might just add 1 more snapdragon for a pop of color. There we go. So then basically this bouquet is done. I'm going to trim the bottom, wrap it in paper, and it's going in my bucket. And we'll shift the zinnias over here. So if you have somewhat of a recipe where all of your bouquets are going to be the same with ingredients or colors, this is a really easy way to get a lot of bouquets done in a short amount of time. And that happens to be what I need to do today because for some reason I'm running a little bit behind today on schedule. Put the sticker on. All right, so here is my market bouquet. Again, these are $15. I love the fact that I have the 3 purple zinnias. So then I'm going to go ahead and keep doing the purple zinnias. Then I'll move to red. Then I'll move to orange and just kind of have that as the solid block of color. All right, let's do another one. So what I do is I put these in my black Johnny's buckets. So this week I'll be able to have a purple bucket, a red bucket, an orange bucket, and that'll look really fun on my table. This one I'm going to give 2 sunflowers because they're a little bit smaller, so that'll even it out. Isn't that just the prettiest? Oh, these are so pretty this week. Some of these where the greenery is just a little bit smaller, I'm just adding an additional snapdragon in there just to kind of up the value a little bit. My sunflowers have been slowly easing into bloom. This succession planting that I'm coming into right now is all Pro Cut oranges and gold lights. Some of the gold lights are done, but the Pro Cut orange are just starting. And I have succession plantings that I have been planting every 2 weeks. The next one I think is a couple hundred. The next one after that is a couple hundred. And the succession planting for the big end of the year market that I do in September is 400. So really excited for that one to come into bloom. All right, there's number 3 on purple. I'm going to switch to the reds and oranges now. All right, and this one's got a hefty amount of filler, so I'm not going to add another snapdragon to this one. I'm basically just going to pick 3 red zinnias out. The stem length on my zinnias has also been getting much longer, which makes me happy. You know, the first ones of the season are always a little bit short. So it's really nice to be finally getting, I'm going to get rid of that one because it's curved. It's really nice to be finally getting some really nice stem length on the zinnias. And this sunflower happens to be like huge, almost way too big, but I'm going to use it because I just think that that is cool. That one clearly was planted a little bit farther away from the others. That's why it got bigger. The closer you plant your sunflowers together, the smaller the heads they are. I typically like to plant mine, about 4 to 5 inches away from each other, and then that gives a nice head size. This one clearly was a little bit further away because that is much bigger than I typically like for a bouquet. But someone's going to buy it because it looks really, really good. I'm actually going to jump back and do one more purple bouquet because the purple bucket that I have is one of the Johnny's 10-liter wide buckets, and I have room for one more whole bouquet in there. And maybe I'll take one less bucket this week just to have a little extra room on my table. So I'm going to do one more. And I have one little sunflower. I'm going to tuck him up in here. There. So there's the purple. This is the Pro Cut orange with the dark center. The gold light, as you'll notice, has the lighter center. I like to plant those first because I feel like they look a little more springy to me. Whereas the ones with the dark center definitely are summer sunflowers. Next year, my goal is to plant sunflowers much, much earlier than I did this year. I was a little bit behind this year on some of my plantings because of all the infrastructure that we were doing. But you know, that's how it goes. All right, I think I'm going to get through the rest of these bouquets. I will show you the color blocking when I get done. Then we'll move on to the minis. Okay, here they are. So this bucket is reds and purples and sunflowers. This bucket is sunflowers with purples and oranges. And this bucket is sunflowers with all purples. I love these. They are all cohesive, but just a little bit different because of the zinnia colors. So all of those bouquets in total took me about 25 minutes from start to finish with setting everything out to when they were all made. So that's pretty good. So now I'm going to move on to my mini bouquets, and I have some zinnias that I'm working with again. I have yellow zinnias. The stem length on these was a little bit shorter, so I'm going to use these for the minis. And then I have a lot of the Queen Lime series. So this is the Queen Lime Red, which is a little more of the mauve. And then this is the Queen Lime Orange, which are the oranges and peaches. This is definitely my favorite. I love it. I'm planting more of it next year. I'm also going to try the Queen Lime Peach next year. I think that'll be pretty. And then to blend with these, I have some Feverfew. It's the Magic Single. I have some Selway Celosia. I think this is the terracotta. And then I have some Cresspedia or Billy Buttons. This is the first year I've successfully grown these. They're the cutest thing ever. So I'm going to put one of those in each mini bouquet. So the mini bouquets are $5, and basically I put about 5 or 6 stems in them, and then I wrap them in paper just like my other ones, but instead of using about an 18 by 18 inch size, I use like an 8 by 8, and then I fold it in half. And I usually don't put a sticker on the mini bouquets just because there's not a ton of room on the paper. And then these I display in individual mason jars. Again, they're $5. These have been really, really popular. I will have some kids get these for their moms, or I have some older ladies that like to just put a little mason jar every week of flowers. One puts them in her bathrooms. You know, it's just a really fun size or a gift size. I sell out of these every week. And so this also I have found is a really nice way to use shorter stems. Like right now, my Feverfew Second Flush is short like this. So I could never use this in a big market bouquet, but it's perfect in these mini bouquets. So what I will typically do is use some accent flowers, fillers, and then some of the zinnias. So this week, I'm going to use the Magic Single Feverfew, the Selway Celosia. I'm going to put a little stem of Status in there. And then I will put like 3 zinnias around it, and that's it. So let's just go ahead and start with these Queen Lime Orange because they look so good with the Selway. Oh, and I got to put one of my Billy Buttons in there. Right in the center. Oh my gosh, that is the cutest thing. So then I'll rubber band them. And I have like little mason jars that I line up at the front of my table. I have a couple larger vases that can hold multiples, which is nice, especially for transport. And these I always usually have like a bunch that look these orange colors. So I'll kind of group them together, and then that way people can easily see the color schemes of them. But that is just so cute. So these are what the little $5 bouquets are. I'm loving the little Billy Buttons in there this week. I'm going to have to grow like a whole bed of those next year. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get these put together, and then I will show you everything when I'm completely done. Okay, everything is done just in time to go to the market. Here are my little mini bouquets. I did 12 of them. I love how they look this week. Those Billy Buttons really just are the cutest. I definitely need to plant more this year. So I'm going to get loaded up for the market. I'm going to take these 12 minis, the 12 big ones, and hopefully I do well. So I hope you guys enjoyed another bouquet making video. I will make sure to do much more of these as the season progresses so that you can see what flowers I have all the way till frost. Hope you guys are having a good week, and we'll see you soon.